So Shabbat Shalom. As the sun sets, people start unpacking what led to what. How did this whole scenario begin? And I'm thinking of those Western influencers who go to Nasrallah's funeral. Don't do it. That is a mistake to honor a terrorist. And we're here just doing an investigation concerning the attacks on October 7th, 2023, how Hamas attacked, why there was not enough response. It was only months after the attack that the military finally recognized that the Gaza division had been defeated for several hours. You know, we only understood the extent of what they did to us later. There was only 767 IDF soldiers that were even in the south, even stationed, and some of those were derelict in their duties as well. And there was a full failure to understand that the entire Gaza division, that's our guys in the south, were completely eliminated, right? We didn't get the severity of what they succeeded in doing. And this failure to create an accurate operational picture, we went in to try to make sure that they're out of the south, but the scope and the scale, we didn't get it. So at 6:29 a.m., is according to the investigation, right, full investigation, you see that around 5,000 or 6,000 Nukhba terrorists, Islamic Jihad, Jabhat al-Nusra, and even Gaza civilians broke through multiple points in the border, paragliders, naval infiltration in the Zikim beach. The death toll was about 1,200 and 251 hostages taken. And we know that through forensics, and we know that through reports of citizenship. And a lot of the massacres that happened in the first 6 hours of the attack, and they had full operational control. The Hamas fully took over army bases, like what we talked about, Nachalos and Erez, Zikim, Re'im, a lot of different bases, and IDF forces were only able to regain control of the situation by the nighttime. Actually, it's complete dereliction of duty, horrible. Thousands of troops were suddenly called up, myself included, and massive efforts from both civilians and not everyone had uniforms on. Who's who? You know, some of us were getting killed because we didn't have a uniform on. No one knew who's who, and just intelligent failures, whole scale, industrial scale failure, and it's horrible. We were overwhelmed by 5,000 plus, let's just say almost 6,000. Terrorists and Gazans and everybody simultaneously breaking through, and at 6:29 a.m., 114 border locations. That's 37 teams that were going through 114 border locations. All right, and so explosives were being dropped from drones. Hell was being rained from the sky by Hamas on us. 38 Hamas terrorists did naval infiltration. 38 infiltrations by sea. 16 successfully entering Israel. The first wave was about 6:29 a.m., 6:29 exactly a.m. 1,175 Hamas terrorists, Nukhba force, attacked. These are highly trained operatives with very good weapons. Very, very good. The stuff is mind-blowing what they were able to do, actually. 1,406 rockets were fired at Israel's military bases and border cities. This is all happening at once, right? And other intelligence base, Sderot police station, and the second wave, the 600 more Nukhba force enter, 937 more rockets entered, and Hamas wanted to advance towards Israeli Air Force bases. You know, it was actually a miscalculation in their navigation that caused them to even end up at that Nova festival in Re'im. They didn't actually plan on that. They went to the mayor's house of Ashkelon, I believe it was, but he had moved 5 years earlier. But they had intelligence, right? And so almost 6,000, some people say 5,600 to 6,000 Hamas terrorists invaded, along with Palestinian Islamic Jihad, along with paragliders, naval speedboats. So the initial response was to try to clear the area, to try to make sure that they won't go all the way to any further, right? To be able to locate and find. We didn't know it was 251 hostages. We didn't know how many were abducted. It could have been thousands, right? And so by noon, a lot of them had retreated back to Gaza or were killed in battle. And that's where, we were all trying to figure out what's going on. So our counterattack The IDF estimates that 16,000 plus Hamas terrorists were killed in our counterattack trying to get hold of the situation. And 149 Hamas members were kidnapped alive, were taken alive at that time, not kidnapped, taken alive. And many of the civilians, wounded and not, went back to Gaza. And we didn't have enough, ambulances. We didn't have enough blood infusions. We didn't have enough to handle the troops. So many of our troops were dying from blood loss. And so we didn't realize that the entire Gaza Division Command, which was completely eliminated. And so that's one of the biggest things we've discovered in this investigation. And the command and control center of the IDF, a Southern Brigade commander, for example, Asaf Hamami, I was just there looking at where he fell. He was taken out. So our top people that were supposed to be in place were taken out and killed along with... He was there with 2 other soldiers. He's the Southern Brigade commander, and he was taken out along with 2 other soldiers. That's all he had, facing an invasion of almost 6,000 terrorists. Platoon commanders, company commanders were also killed in the initial hours. We had Apache helicopters going down, trying to find out who's who, trying to recover the situation. They executed a massive surprise multi-front attack that was very successful. We were completely unprepared, and it took us hours and hours and hours before we could figure out what's going on. And we took 1,600 Hamas prisoner, and killed 1,600 Hamas and took 149 prisoner. So what I want to say is that now we've learned our lesson. Now we must be strong. We must be heightened security in Tulkarm, Kalkilia, Jenin, over in Nablus or Shechem. We're going to make sure that the Iron Wall is strong in Judea and Samaria. We're going to work with the United States and others who will work to free this. We're not going to allow for this. In this Shabbat, friends, I'm going to say what I believe is that we have to not let everything just revert back to what was, but we have to be strong. And shalom, Shabbat shalom, this comes when you're strong, not when you're weak. We're not going to be weak anymore. Friends, we're sorry we messed up. We're sorry that we weren't able to do better. But this Shabbat, we have a resolute outlook to finish this well.